After all that, you still ended up back here.
So the legends were true. The Netherrealm really is a sea of flowers.
Yes. Just like the flower fields we tended to back then.
Is that you, Plixia?
Do you remember me?
I don't have the memories from that time, but I've seen you before during an experiment.
I see. Call me Thanatos, then. It'll be easier. However, since you recognize the name, you must already know.
Yes. I'm here to reforge the order of life and death in Amphorius.
You know, my sister was a sympathetic, but rather sensitive person. Whenever she didn't want to say what was on her mind, just like what you are doing now.
Can you tell me about the last Era Nova? What did you do, Plixia?
Where should I begin? A long, long time ago, there were a pair of like-minded twins. As foretold in the prophecy, they were chosen to be successors to the god of death. But fate was cruel. The price of attaining divinity was to take the life of a family member with our own hands.
That trial was indeed recorded in that memory.
Then you should already know that my sister voluntarily gave up her own life so that I could ascend as the demigod of death. But I couldn't accept that. Why did we have to kill each other for a future she'd never see herself? That's not fair. So, while weaving the laws of the new world, I shattered the forbidden bottom line for life and death. I reshaped my sister's soul and took the form of the great dragon Pollux to carry her up the River of Souls and back into the mortal realm. But our fates were already decided and manifested in unexpected ways in response to my futile actions. Aging is an unbreakable law of nature laid upon humankind, created at the same time as death. When the living die, their souls will meet Thanatos, who would determine where every soul goes. If the Reaper raises their left hand, the soul is granted death and allowed to enter the Netherrealm to await reincarnation. If they raise their right hand, the soul is rejected by the Netherrealm and returned to the mortal realm to continue walking the earth.
That's why the Hand of Shadow can only lay down judgment and not embrace another being.
Yes. Death was originally a pair of hands, but they were split in twain when we reached the mortal realm, never to touch each other ever again. The half of Thanatos that represents life, the undying human who grants death, that was the curse I forced upon you.
Then, what about you?
As the half of Thanatos representing death, I shoulder the fate of defying death. I died the moment I entered the world of the living. From then on, my Titan also no longer existed in this world. The cycle of life and death stopped. Souls were denied their audience with death and were left stranded within an ever-rising river of the dead. What irony. My selfish desire to save your life gave you and the world a fate far worse than death instead. Then, what was left of my reason was left behind in the Netherrealm, where I've been taking care of these flowers day after day, until there is now a sea of them, all while mulling over the subject of life, death, parting, and enduring an endless loneliness.
Fate is absurd indeed. Our lives were a mirrored image of one another, like a pair of hands. Even so, we walked different paths, yet experienced the same pain.
I had hoped that maybe you, I'm sorry.
I lived my life well. It didn't go to waste. As far as I'm concerned, you did nothing.
Even though I forced the authority.
Too many responsibilities were forced upon me. But I realized recently that if it weren't for your blood, I wouldn't have made it here to reunite with my... I wouldn't have understood the meaning.
The meaning of our...
This sea of flowers bloom. That's why Thanatos cannot... Because the life and death of mortals...
Are you saying there's no...
No. Life and death weigh equally.
You, too, must have had a difficult... We've taken quite the ridiculous... I had a feeling, even back then, that we would meet again one day. Not to embrace one another after a long separation, but to come in search of retribution. Tell me the answer that's already been written, and let us draw. It's been far too long. I always hoped I would see you, but...
I know. But don't you see, Polixia? I made it back and you don't have to shoulder death's authority on your own anymore. So, let's give our core flame to him and have him take it back to the mortal realm. Our responsibility as Thanatos was never about picking out favorite souls. Let's tend the field together and create a warm sea of flowers for all the souls to come. What do you think, Polixia?
Yes, just you shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn as foretold by the prophecy. Thanatos' authority is only destined for only one person to wield. Our fated moment has arrived once again.
Just like before.
Yes, but unlike that time, the ones undergoing...
You've made up your mind.
Yes, as dictated by fate. Complete your trial in this life. Grant me the embrace of death, and light this... You've been tempered by life and death. I know you'll be able to give this wasteland its first, like a raven butterfly, flying swiftly into the Netherrealm.
I will. After this, I will remain permanently in the cycle of life and death will flow once again. the sea of flowers you sowed shall bear countless joyous or sorrowful souls, and bloom evermore.
Thank you. Just one last thing. Can you?
Of course. What is it?
Please, don't forget me.
I promise you. When we meet in the next world, even if I have endured another reincarnation, even if we do not know each other's names, I will still hold you tightly in my arms. Just
Castorus, you're as beautiful as a fleeting butterfly.
I will bring rest to death. And from now on, stagnant life will once again